Hey guys, so I am back again with another video on hopefully a way better quality of camera, and hopefully the audio is a lot better because this is my camera that I got about a year ago, but I lost the charger in Europe and so I wasn't able to use it. Pumpkin is playing in a box right now. It's actually really cute. Let's go see. What are you doing, little boy? Little boy, what are you doing? And little flippers. Anyways, so that being said, I didn't have the charger, so I had to buy a new one on Amazon, which it came in the mail yesterday. So here we are. Today I wanted to talk about Socionics. Socionics is similar to Myers-Briggs in the respect that they use the same kind of concepts and cognitive functions that Carl Jung presented, but there is a lot more to Socionics than Myers-Briggs in the sense that Socionics takes into account all 8 cognitive functions that we all use, or all of the personalities use all 8 cognitive functions in their personality, but they are represented in a certain way. Also, Socionics goes into type relations, that each personality, even with their own personality, has a certain relationship. Whereas in Myers-Briggs, I think that it tends to say that intuitives get along and sensors get along. But I feel like that is a very glossed over version of what cognitively human beings or just personalities are capable of. So that being said, I am going to attempt for hopefully the final time, because I've shot this video a few times, my memory card ran out of space, so I had to do some deleting. But hopefully this makes sense. I am so sorry if this is confusing. Again, if you're just starting out with Myers-Briggs, I wouldn't recommend jumping into Socionics just because it is confusing. But if you are curious and you are wanting to know, here we go. But before we start off, I would like to note a big confusion within Socionics and Myers-Briggs. So in Socionics, all of the introverts that we know in Myers-Briggs, the perceiving and the judging functions, or the P and the J, are switched. So as for, let's say, my type, an INFJ, and I'm speaking in Myers-Briggs terms, in Socionics, I am an INFP. And the reason being is, in Myers-Briggs, they take into the account the first extroverted function, and that determines whether you are a J or a P. So, for example, as an INFJ in Myers-Briggs, they're looking at my second function, which is extroverted feeling, and that is a judging function, so therefore I have a J at the end of my letter memory tool. Whereas in Socionics, which I think makes a little bit more sense, in Socionics they use the first function. Again, Pumpkin was playing in the box. Mr. Boy, what are you doing? This little naughty is an ENFJ. Are you an ENFJ, Pumpkin? Are you Mr. Drama? I love drama, don't you? I'm just kidding. He does. He is a dramatic little cat. But anyways, in Socionics, the the function that they take into account is the first function. So my first function as an INFJ, speaking in Myers-Briggs terms, is Introverted Intuition, which is a perceiving function. So therefore in Socionics, I am an INFP, so I am represented as an INFP. But along with the traditional kind of Myers-Briggs terms that you may be more familiar with, like INFP, INFJ, ISTJ, ESFP, stuff like that, the 4-letter indicator, Socionics also has a symbol indicator, which is 2 symbols, and they mean, or 2 shapes, which mean a certain thing, and they also have a 3-letter indicator, which also means a certain thing, and these are memory tools to, again, help you be able to distinguish the types. And so, specifically for the shapes, which we're going to get into in just a second, those are helpful when you're looking at charts of the inner type relations. And also the 3-letter indicator, a little bit easier to be able to look at the chart and find which personalities you're looking for with those symbols, to know what that relationship is. So, starting off, we have those symbols that I have previously mentioned. And these are represented as ethical, intuitive, logical, sensory. The ethical, or this L shape, is the feeling function. So this is also, when we're thinking about the 3-letter indicator, it is represented as an E. So these L's, what the difference between the black and the white is, the black means that it is an extroverted feeling function, and the white means that it is an introverted feeling function. And moving on to intuitive, the black triangle is extroverted intuition, and the white triangle is introverted intuition. Again, 3-letter indicator, that is represented as an I. Moving on to L, or logical, this square shape. The black square is extroverted thinking, and the white square is introverted thinking. And then moving on to sensory, or S, the circle, the black circle is extroverted sensing, and the white circle is introverted sensing. So, Socionics. Hopefully this makes sense so far. We're going to go into the Quadras, which is the way Socionics groups each of the types. And in Socionics, the Quadras are basically 4 different Quadras, or groups, that have 4 personality types in them, and within those 4 personality types, they all share, if we're thinking in Myers-Briggs terms, they all share the first 4 cognitive functions. So, that being said, these are the different Quadras. The first Quadra is the Alpha Quadra. Second is the Beta. Third is the Gamma. And 4th is the Delta. In each of the Quadras, which is very interesting, but I'm not going to go into it in this video, each of the Quadras have a certain, I always think of it as like a kind of a feeling or a vibe or aesthetic that they have, that they all kind of, what they're known for, their group dynamic, how they interact with people, because they all are using those cognitive functions. They have a certain thing to them. So the first one, alpha, we're looking at ENTP, ESFJ, INTJ, which is INTP in Myers-Briggs, Isfp, which is ISFJ in Myers-Briggs. So ENTP, this is ILE, which if we're looking at this this little diagram again, ethical E, intuitive I, logical L, sensory S, and then the L shape, triangle shape, square shape, circle. So when we're looking at ENTP, the reason why they have this letter indication, this 3-letter indication, it is because they lead with extroverted intuition, so this black triangle, and then their second function is introverted thinking, which is represented as a white square. And the reason why all of the types have another letter at the end basically represents whether this type is an extrovert or an introvert. So an ENTP is an extrovert, so they have an E. So moving on to ESFJ, ESFJ is ethical, sensory, extrovert. So they have the black L shape for extroverted feeling and the white circle shape for introverted sensing. And then INTJ, or INTP in Myers-Briggs, they are logical, intuitive, introvert. So logical is represented as introverted thinking, which that is their primary function. So it is a white square. And then intuitive is represented as this black triangle because it is extroverted intuition, so hence the black triangle for extroverted intuition, and then I for introvert. So you kind of get the idea. So if we're going to fill in the blank for ISFP, or again ISFJ in Myers-Briggs, they are a sensory, ethical introvert. So the symbol we would use for this one is a white circle for sensory, introverted sensing, because that is their primary function. And then their secondary function is extroverted feeling, which is this black L shape. So filling it in, that is what it would look like. Then moving on to the beta quadra, which is the quadra that I am in. So this quadra has the ENFJ, EIE, so ethical, intuitive, extrovert, and you get the idea as far as the symbols go. ESTP, we're going to fill in the blank here. So their primary function is extroverted sensing, so we know that that would be S, and then their secondary function is introverted thinking, so L, logical, and then they are an extrovert, so they would be E. So they are SLE is what an ESTP is. So again, they are represented as a black circle because that's extroverted sensing, and a white square for introverted thinking. And then INFP, again, this is an INFJ in Myers-Briggs, IEI, that is what I am. So the white triangle and then the black L shape. ISTJ, ISTP in Myers-Briggs, LSI, so logical, sensor, introvert. So white square, black circle. Now moving on to gamma. The gamma consists of the ENTJ, LIE. So if we're thinking about what the symbol would be for this one, this would be, we know that they lead with extroverted thinking, so the L. Their next function is Introverted Intuition, which is this I, and then E, meaning that they are an extrovert. So if they lead with extroverted thinking, that is represented as the black square. And introverted intuition would be represented as the white triangle. So there you are. ESFP, so SEE, meaning that they are a extroverted sensor first. So sensory, ethical, extrovert. So extroverted sensing, introverted feeling, and then extrovert. And then INTP or INTJ in Myers-Briggs is ILI. Intuitive, logical, introvert. And then so on and so forth. The ISFJ, which is ISFP in Myers-Briggs, they have introverted feeling first, so ethical, sensory, introvert. So introverted feeling, extroverted sensing, and then they are an introvert. And then finally, the Delta Quadra. And the Delta Quadra consists of ENFP, which is IEE, intuitive, ethical, extrovert. And then ESTJ, which is logical, sensory, extrovert. And then the INFJ, which again is INFP in Myers-Briggs. We're going to fill in the blank for this one. The blank, so what we know about INFJs is that they lead with introverted feeling. So knowing that, we would know that they are an ethical type. So they would have E first. And then we know that they are a extroverted intuitive. So they would have the I next. And that is represented as the L shape, the white L shape, and the black triangle. So their three-letter indicator would be E, ethical, I, intuitive, and then I, introvert. And then finally, we have the ESTP, or the ISTP or ISTJ in Myers-Briggs, which is my sister. They are sensory, logical, introverts. So the white circle and the black square. So I know that that was a lot of information, but I felt like this was something that could be beneficial for certain people that are very interested in learning socionics. And hopefully this little tool was helpful for you. And this was obviously just a very glossed over introductory video or glazed over, because it only went into what the structure is of each type. And looking at the quadras again, this is such an interesting concept, the type relations. I am so interested in the type relations because I always like to know how to better interact with others and how to understand people more fully. And so we'll get into this in another video, but as for today, I hope that you are having a great day or afternoon or evening, whatever or wherever you are in the world right now. And I hope that you are having a good life. I don't know why I said that, but